But anyone who's
Mm,
like, oh, he's just in it for the money, you would be too. It's
mhm.
$500,000. Like,
And you should want your partner that you're currently talking with, Bailey, to also be in it for the money.
yeah. Hey everyone, thanks for watching this episode of BachMakers. Make sure to
Like
comment,
and
subscribe.
subscribe.
Thanks for watching. Keep watching. Hello everyone, welcome back to BachMakers, aka your girlfriend's favorite podcast, presented by Good Time Media. I'm Wyatt. That's Michael. And Bachelor in Paradise has entered the modern era. We are in a new world of Bachelor in Paradise, a new era, the Eras Tour of Paradise. Whole new ball game, competing for $500,000. $500,000 is now on the line. That's kind of where we got to start here, Michael. The change has finally
Mhm.
happened. What are your opening thoughts?
Is it bad to say that, like, thank God, like, it's kind of about time? Is it bad to say, like, it's kind of due? The start of Paradise 1 felt like so long ago. This season has already felt like it's gone on so long. This change was needed at this point. It was, maybe could argue, maybe 1 week overdue, but at the same time, now that there's no new people coming in, you've kind of got to, you know, make a change, to that aspect. But I'm excited. Okay, I'm actually kind of really excited to watch now. Before I was like, man, this, like, oh, like, it's today's Monday, it's Bachelor
Mm-hmm.
Monday, and I wasn't like, I didn't have that thrill that I did like the first couple weeks of Paradise, and that I did for a lot of the seasons prior. But now I'm kind of like, oh, sick. We've got a game,
Mm-hmm.
but we've got love, which we can talk about how they're trying to do the balance and absolutely failing at that. But regardless to say, I'm excited to watch next week. The little preview at the end, I was like, oh, that got me going. I was like, oh, we're gonna see some drama.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna see some, like, Traders esque. We covered Traders this
Yes.
winter. That was hype. We're seeing, I guess, a little bit of that game show, but also still that connection based finding love. I'm excited.
I 100% agree, and I think we are in the minority here. I really do. I think just from
Yeah.
reading online. Now here's the thing. I This is a good change. This is a good change. I am very excited to see what they make of it. Is it going to be perfect? No, not at all. There's going to be finding that balance between this being a love show and a money show is going to be hard, but they're attempting it, and that's pretty noble. I will give them that. And it adds a layer to this show that has never been there before because now
Hmm.
you really test the relationships. They always joke about, like, let's put this relationship to the test. This is actually putting a relationship to the test because you are putting $500,000 in the line. There are actual stakes. The stakes before were you're
Hmm.
either going to fall in love or go home with a couple extra followers. Now the stakes are,
Yeah.
hey, I could either fall in love or win $500,000 or neither or both. You never know. And there's so many options. There's now lying involved, there's sabotaging, there's backstabbing. The whole dynamic between everyone in the resort is so different now. And all of a sudden,
Hmm.
it's backs against the walls, pistols pointed at everybody, ready to roll. And I don't know. If you don't love that, I don't I don't know what to tell you at this point. I really don't. And I get the maybe the like holding on to the old Bachelor way of like this
Hmm.
be here for the right reasons. Honey, they were never there for the right reasons. Once social media became a thing and they could monetize their life after the show, the right reasons went out the door. Finding love on a show like this was just a bonus. And that takes nothing away from the actual relationships that have come from the show, but that has been a bonus on top of, hey, I'm going to go on reality TV, get a couple followers, and have some fun while doing it. That's
Yeah, hang out with your friends.
exactly.
Like, come on.
Yeah. So, like, if you are still clinging to the right reasons stuff, this is the end of the line, I think. I mean, for Paradise, obviously, you're gonna have the
Hmm.
same arguments, Bachelor, Bachelorette, but in terms of Paradise, this is a necessary shift. I'm very happy about it.
Yes, I agree with you that now we are down to two Goldens, and obviously we'll get to that. But I think we had a big gripe with last time for Paradise. Like the first ever season we
Mhm.
covered back in 2 years ago, near the end of Paradise, the last few weeks, it just gets like weird.
Yep.
Like people start to leave and people like break up and there's no real like winner, right? There was three couples that got engaged. We all see how that lasted. Obviously not well. And it was just really like just an awkward dynamic. They didn't know how to wrap the season up. They've never known how to wrap the season up. This at least gets a goal and gets a way to actually get people off the island besides just there being an odd number of guys or odd number of girls, whatever. So there's I don't know. And we already saw like this week. You had Bailey kind of choosing who she wanted to give the roses to and everything like that. Which I'll get into when we get into that. I have a very big gripe with that. But we already see in the trailer that it's going to be like a different way of who's going home next week. They're like voting people out. That's what they were saying.
Mhm.
I'm like, oh, okay. So they're kind of working as I don't want to say villa resort,
Yeah.
a squad, and picking pretty much who they wanted to get rid of. And so like it's cool. They're trying different things, and if it's another way of how to eliminate the people the week after that, I'm gonna be like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
like let's go, like come on, like you've got so many ideas, like
Yeah.
show me more.
No, I'm very much a big fan of this move. I will be interested to see what the public perception of it is because again, I think we're the minority here, but would love to hear people's thoughts. So let us know in the comments. How did we get here? So we had the rose ceremony that felt long overdue. It felt like again they were like teasing this rose ceremony
Yeah.
forever. And none of the youngins go home. There was an even number, so all the roses go to who you think they will. Dale, Kat, a little suspense there, maybe. Not really. And Sean and Alisha, which shout out to I believe her name is Caitlin, DM'd us, said that she can't stop saying Alisha the way we say it because of this podcast. That rocks. That rocks. I love that we are entering the brains of people who watch this and just like killing their brain cells because it'll always be Alisha until she personally tells us to stop. So shout out to
Hmm.
that person. So Alisha and Sean are coupled up. No real surprises with the youngins, I think. Pretty straightforward.
Yeah, no, I mean obviously the surprise with the Goldens,
Yes.
Keith giving it to Kathy, which I think was a friend rose at this age, but kind of just they're enjoying time in paradise. I think Keith also thought more guys were going to come after this, and giving Kathy more of a shot in paradise. But I thought he was all in on Nancy. Like that man was at Nancy's heels, and then he's just like, "Yep, Kathy." What?
That was wild. I Nancy going home sucks because Nancy rocks. Nancy's really cool.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
not that I think Kathy should have gone home. I'm sad to see Nancy go. Sad as I mean, so Nancy, April, Natasha all go home. Three fun
yeah,
characters that I
yeah.
just wish they were around. It's going to be interesting to see how the Goldens fit into these competitions because we saw them in this competition, the high low, all that stuff, which we'll get into. But again, we don't see a lot of them in the trailers and the teasers of these competitive aspects of it. So we're not sure how that's going to really work.
I'm gonna make a prediction now that whenever the next golden couple leaves, the other golden couple will just go with them.
Ooh,
Like there's not going to be just one golden couple at the end. Once because it's already like written in the book. Like it's a young couple that's going to win. Just numbers wise, there's no way one of these old like Kim. I'm sorry, you're not winning this. What? And Keith and Kathy, you're not winning
yeah.
this. Like, come on, get out of here. I think there's no way they last more than two more episodes. Like
Mhm.
I think they'll both leave
Do you
next
think
week.
the youngins will just be like, let's just get rid of the old people?
They're like, let's just team up, get rid of these old
Yeah,
farts.
and then move, which would be like
Yeah, let's get
that's
rid of
pretty
these old
fucked up.
farts and then we can party.
Yeah,
Yeah, but they also kind of got to see like, oh, well, now all of their friends are also gone, so like,
yeah.
you know,
But then I love the like again, the positive part about this switch is we can turn our brain into reality strategy brain, not just like
mhm.
I don't know. I think the bad part of Bachelor Nation that takes things too far and too seriously are too invested in the people in terms of like I don't know the best way to phrase this, but now that this is
Stable?
a game, this is a game. This is a reality game show at this point. So
Yeah, but like I still think there is that level of it is about finding
yes,
love.
no, that is again, that's the bonus. Always has been the bonus. Hopefully they find love on this.
Mhm.
That'd be great. But also now we can talk strategy and less about like we can be like I'll skip forward to my thoughts towards the end. Sending Leslie and Gary home, right decision. As much as I love Leslie, and when my old brain would be like, I love Leslie, I want her to stay in the show forever. My reality game show brain is like, that's a smart move because they had a good chance of like doing well. So that we'll talk strategy later on, but like that's what I'm saying in terms of it's a different brain, a different mindset you have to enter into when you're looking at this game. And that was kind of the back half of this episode.
Hmm. That is true. And with going into this turning into a game show mid-season, I know obviously this isn't relevant now, but for future seasons, everybody's going to know that it's a game
Mm-hmm.
show too. So it's going to change everybody's minds from the get-go.
Yeah.
But that's obviously for like maybe a finale recap. Talking more about that, but um,
Oh,
yeah.
so the that
Should we
roast.
just get into the
Yeah.
recap?
So the roast.
The roast
So
ceremony.
during that, Jesse makes the announcement. There was a funny shot of Alisha realizing that, oh shit, I'm stuck with Sean. This whole which love Sean, but there was a moment where like she was like, oh, no more rivals. Tough. And it was
Yeah,
yeah,
I mean, it's got to be tough for her because she didn't get a chance to really like fully explore or anything. But still, Sean only got there a day or two before Alisha
mhm,
too, so like he's still new. So I mean, I don't know. It's tough for the later rivals for the people that are like been there since day one, like the Spencer and Jesses, and like even the Bailey and Jeremy. Like you've kind of got to be like, thank God,
yeah,
like I'm finally secure. I don't have to worry about my person that I've been talking to, like getting pulled on dates, and it's a change of pace.
yeah.
We get to do games and compete in some fun stuff and win
Yeah.
500K would be.
Because if you're in a secure relationship at this point, worst case scenario, you leave in a secure relationship. Like
Yeah,
that's worst case
yeah,
scenario. Like it's like Andrew and Alex, for example. Like worst case scenario, they leave the show and get to keep dating. Like there's no yeah, there's a little stress being put
no,
on that relationship in terms of like the challenges and stuff, but not really. Like another bombshell's not coming in to try to break them up. Like that's a
yeah,
fun little
and
twist.
and one of in one of Spencer's interviews, he said something where like I'm actually really worried because we're definitely like the strongest couple, me and
Hmm.
Jess, and so I'm worried everybody's gonna the second they get a chance, they're gonna vote us out. Which that's so
Hmm.
valid, and that would be the worst case scenario I think for the viewers that want love
Yeah,
is if next week Spencer and Jess are just gone and the strongest couple, the most like in it since day one, like very seem like they could possibly get engaged by the end of this, just go home and don't even have that chance to get engaged. That would be
yeah,
just. I would be like, damn. Well, kind of scrap the whole love thing. Now it's just about the money,
yeah,
I guess.
yeah. It's gonna be very interesting.
So hopefully that doesn't happen.
Um, before we get into the high low date, Parisa and Brian are just continuing to fight, and my like send in a emergency help squad for Parisa. Get her out of there. Get her out of this relationship. Brian at one point was like, "You over communicate. Like you compliment me too much. You love me too hard.
Yeah,
What are we doing?"
you say too many nice things to
Yeah,
me. Sometimes like you're like calling me handsome and like calling me like, oh, you have good hair or you're so funny. That's so
yeah,
annoying. Like knock
yeah.
it
Like that will
off.
turn me off if you keep saying how
Yes,
awesome and cool and funny and hot I am. Turn off.
literally bully me, slap me.
Like this. Like what does he want? Has that man ever like has
He might want a dude.
he hates to be loved? Like, yeah. Like, I don't know what he wants at this point. He's like,
I
she's just overwhelming me with how much she likes me. Like, what?
I know you have to be in a couple here, but I think Brian just wants to be single.
Yeah.
Like he just wants to be in paradise, but just talking with all of the ladies, kissing all of the
He's so
ladies. Like
mad.
I just
He's the most mad that there's no new arrivals. He's like, "What? I can't
probably.
see." Well, Dale's mad that there's not another cat coming in. a newer cat, and then Brian's pissed because he's like, wait, I don't get to have my hot boy summer. This sucks.
Yeah, but at least we are getting I guess a good kind of, I want to say villain versus. This is almost like a villain versus villain arc that Jeremy and
Yeah.
Brian are getting, especially from the reaction online.
Hmm.
A lot of people are going against our boy Jeremy. A lot of people are anti Jeremy right now. Some people, from Twitter, some people are more anti Jeremy than they are anti Brian, and
Insane.
I'm like, whew. I mean, I get where they're coming from, and the edit hasn't been the best,
Hmm.
but like, I'm kind of here for like the villain versus villain, and then one of them will like be the villain that takes the other villain out, and then one's the top villain of the
Hmm.
season. It's kind of sick.
No, I have a lot to say about Jeremy. Last week, it was hard to defend Jeremy. This week, because of the circumstances changing, it's a lot easier to defend Jeremy because of the shift in motivations now. Like you
Hmm.
understand why he would do what he does. And anyone who's I'm skipping ahead, but anyone who's
Hmm.
like, "Oh, he's just in it for the money," you would be too. It's
Hmm.
$500,000. Like,
And you should want your partner that you're currently talking with, Bailey, to also be in it for the money.
yeah,
Like you should. It should be like a. If anything, I think this helps them grow together as a couple even more than prior seasons. Like we had Aaron B and Eliza. There was no money to work for. Yeah, you got a free ring from Neil Diamond, if or Neil Lane or Neil
Neil
Diamond. Neil Lane. If it's because it's a
yeah.
diamond that if you got engaged, but like like I don't know. I feel like it's easier to speed up your connection with somebody when you're kind of working together as part of like your own team against other couples in a sense. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I've never been in a love times game show times
I'm I-
also, but also old people
I'm
are
reading the
there.
comments right now on the video I just posted. People don't like Jeremy right now. Which again, my argument is with Jeremy is how you
Was it a rage bait video? Was it
no,
just there was? Did you just do a rage
no,
bait
it wasn't
video?
rage bait. It was this is the summary of my video. And again, we're kind of jumping all over the place this episode, so I apologize. But I
Hmm.
mean, there's only one big thing to talk about, it's the twist. So
Yeah.
my opinion on Jeremy is this. How you feel about Jeremy is how you feel about the change of the show. If you are hating Jeremy right now, it's because you don't like the change of the show and you're all focused on the love aspect and wanting to find the perfect couple out of this show. And I get that. And 100% I hear you and valid feelings. But you also have to understand they're competing for $500,000 now, which is life-changing money. So anyone in the comments who's like, "Oh, he's not doing right by Bailey for he's just in it for the money." Anyone in the comments would also be in it for the money and do whatever it takes to win $500,000. So, if
Hmm.
you can understand that aspect and you're like defending Jeremy in that aspect, you like the changes of the show. So how you feel about Jeremy is how you feel about the changes of the show. So if you hate the show, you hate
Yeah.
Jeremy. If you like the direction of the show, you will not maybe love Jeremy, the edit he's getting, but like you will understand where he's coming from, the strategy aspect of it. Like people aren't turning that brain part on yet.
Brain part on.
Yeah.
Nice. To play devil's
Okay.
advocate for the people that are maybe anti Jeremy here, and this is no shade to Jeremy, but I think they're also before this whole change was
Hmm.
announced, they're remembering the Susie thing and the little kind of overreaction from Bailey getting pulled to the date with Andrew, and then that kind of
Yeah.
calling Susie, and then not telling Bailey that he called Susie, and that still hasn't blown up yet. Which
Fire.
fire that hasn't blown
Yeah.
up yet. I'm so excited for that next week. So excited.
Hmm.
So Jeremy has been a little
Yes.
messy. He's been a little messy, and he's definitely said some things in some interviews that they've cut and used at certain points about wanting money, this,
Hmm.
money, that. I'm sure he said a lot of other things, especially about Bailey, that they've just used the money part
Yeah.
to, give him more of the villain
Which
edit to go, I guess, back
yeah.
to angel's advocate after our just devil's advocate.
We watch reality TV for a ton of different reasons, but most importantly, it's just an opportunity to kick our feet up, turn our brain off, and relax. And at that point, all you need is the best snack to top it all off. Here at Batchmakers, we prefer El Capitan's Decadent Crunch Tortilla Chips. These are not just chips, people. You can pick up the sweet cinnamon pack, which I'm going to be honest is my personal favorite, and snack on those during the rose ceremonies, or pair up the other flavors with some dip before the final rose is given out. You can try them now, get 10% off your order, and help support everything we have here at Good Time with promo code Good Time. Enjoy the rest of the episode. The Susie thing is messy, agreed, and you don't have to love that. I also think ever since that moment, and Susie's been gone, he's been all in on Bailey. And yes, now people would argue because the money's involved, you have to be all in on Bailey, which I understand.
And that conversation with Brian.
Yes, okay.
That is
I'm
crazy.
going in
That is
circles. I'm going in
crazy.
circles here, but you can't fully ignore the fact that they're competing for $500,000. Like, you can't just throw that out the window. And I think some people are doing that with the hatred towards Jeremy. I think they're forgetting there's a strategic aspect to this.
I also feel like knowing this is a strategic game now, you kind of have to at least give off the facade that it's not a strategic game. I feel like you can't go too, and I think this episode, maybe his gameplay wasn't the best because he acted a little bit too, I have all the power this week. Look at me. If you don't have that every week, that could really come back to bite you in the ass. It could.
So interesting. This makes it so interesting.
I know there's going to be alliances. You even saw Gary and Leslie when they pulled Jeremy and Bailey for like their couple chat or whatever. They were like, "Hey, you scratch our back, we'll scratch yours." Yeah. Kind of like "Hey, you get us through this week when we're top dogs, since we're like one of the top dogs. We'll we'll make sure you're chilling." So that's why I kind of thought they were going to save Leslie and Gary and kind of have a alliance with them in a sense, but did not go.
Breaking news. Breaking news. We may have the newest member of our Batchmaker Fantasy Football League. Mr.
Really?
Hakeem may be joining our league this year.
Well, there we go.
So congratulations.
We should probably get going.
That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm trying to get going on that. So Batchmaker Fantasy Football will be back with all Bachelor, Bachelorette people. For those who remember, Dylan B from Gen Season won last season of our league, and that's why he has a jersey hanging in the studio right now. And Autumn got dead last. So Autumn, jury's still out if she's going to get kicked out of the league. I don't think
she hasn't done a punishment.
She hasn't done the punishment, so I think we have to kick her out. I think that's unfortunate, but we may have to kick her out.
Give her one more chance to do the punishment.
Yeah, but kicking the only woman out of our league, tough look. Brand image. So maybe if there's another woman within Bachelor Nation that wants to join, we can just a replacement woman. We can recast her. We're gonna recast Autumn for season 2 of.
Or we could just get Autumn and be like, "Hey, all of your friends from your season just want to manage one team and put all your
Joey's Gals team." That'd be awesome. I think I'm gonna throw a big hook into the water, bait in the water. What's the phrase I'm looking for?
You put worm on the hook.
Big worm in the water. Big bait. I'm gonna toss some big worms out there. I think we can get Kelsey Anderson in our league. I think there's a chance.
Oh, you use the Vikings.
The Vikings connection. I'm throwing this out there right now just to manifest. Kelsey, if you want to join our league, we'd love to have you. Anyways,
let's do it.
Back to the episode. What were we talking about right before then?
I say we do like a quick recap of just everything,
high low,
and then just
we got to get that
high low.
The high low date. High low. What do you know?
Oh, the game.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. We can kind of run through this quick and then just overall overview. So this game was interesting. I liked it. It was fun watching. It feels like one of those games where it was probably more fun to play than it was for us to watch. Where like I like the idea, in reality, sometimes it was kind of like messy in the editing and like, what am I actually watching here? What are the questions? Okay.
They didn't show us every question. They didn't show us every
Yeah.
question, and so that's why it was a little hard to follow because there wasn't enough time. If anything, they should have allotted more time into showing
Yeah.
that game because that game was fun to watch as a viewer. Because me and my roommates were watching it together, and we were like, betting like, oh, what is he gonna say? Like, are they gonna choose high or
Yeah.
low? We got into it. I was like, how do I live bet? I was just like, oh my god, this is scratching an itch that I knew I had, but oh my
It's like
god,
they should have shown the leaderboard at all times. They only pop it in there every
yes,
now and then, and I'm like, "Wait."
yes, and live odds, yes,
Exactly. But yeah, fun concept for a date. The big moment is when Jeremy goes all in on what was the question? It was
How much have you spent on
date or
a
no, gift
gift
for a partner.
to a gift for another partner?
Over under
For a partner.
$350. And
That was. I feel like that's an easy over. If you've had like one serious relationship, I feel like that's an easy. Like I was obviously my two roommates are dating.
yeah.
My Kyle and Sinead, they're dating, and they're like, yeah, it's over, and I'm like, oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, I knew that. Me, yeah,
It's a lot of
yeah,
money.
I would have guessed. Yeah, but I guess it depends on how many relationships you've been in and what age
Yeah.
and everything you are.
But anyways, he goes all in, high roller, and he wins. And so he basically locks up the first place and the date, which is so wild because if he's wrong, there's a decent chance he goes home. So it's like a
Yeah.
50-50 chance of winning a date versus going home. This is why Jeremy's great for the show. He's kind of electric, goes all in, he wins. So him
Uh-huh.
and Baylor are set up to win, which then leads to the dumbest decision of all time. Gary is locked
Actually,
in to the top 3. He is so
that's actually.
okay, not going to go home, and for some reason decides to do the same thing and go all in.
No, 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 no. That's not what he
Well,
did. Because he was tied with Jeremy. So he could have, somehow maybe sent it to overtime or whatever if he went all the way in to get another one-on-one date. But he put half his chips in.
yeah,
So even if he got it right, he wasn't gonna beat Jeremy and Bailey. But if he got it wrong, he was down in the top three. It was actually the dumbest
so
bet
dumb.
of all time. Like he could have just not answered the question, or I want to know what was going on in his head. Obviously not a gambler,
Yeah,
and we saw that here. Um, yeah, so silly, just so silly, and then getting it wrong, and then boom, that ultimately leads to his
yeah.
demise.
He,
That's
I think
crazy.
he just got excited playing a game and like just didn't think of the consequences. Like really
Yeah.
wasn't, which is again why the Goldens are probably not going to do great in this new competitive environment. But poor Gary, poor Gary. No, I'll say this: poor Leslie, choo choo,
Yeah.
because
For sure.
she's sitting behind him like, what are we doing? She's like, I don't even gamble, but I know that's dumb, and everyone was shitting on him.
Yeah.
Ugh, felt bad for the guy, and I felt bad for Leslie.
But like it's cool that we're getting these stupid
Yeah,
mistakes. These games are actually meaningful. It's not just let's play truth box again. And Wells just reads the stupidest things out of a box and then there's drama that ensues from
yeah,
that. That's that's what it was
yeah,
last season of Paradise. And that's what these games or connection things at least we're getting some excitingness, and the winner of the game actually got something. Not only a one-on-one date, they got to a major decision that ultimately leads to the gameplay aspect, and not getting the bottom three. That's huge. That's huge. So I mean, I'm guessing it's going to be something like that most weeks where you can't be in like the bottom
mhm.
echelon.
I love that. Nice word. Um,
Thank you.
I
I read now.
I love the idea of having the like winners get to decide some aspect of who stays and who goes. Like
Mhm.
that makes this very interesting because then you have the strategy of all these people trying to kind of court Bailey all night and like go to her like she's like make me an offer I can't refuse and they can do whatever. I like that element to it. Now I kind of wish they just gave it to the couple to decide like that because like I don't know why was it just Bailey? Because like Jeremy's also sitting there making the decision too. It's not like they didn't talk about it, even though Jeremy did at the end say he was surprised by it. But I just Just let the couple. I understand the girls had the rose at that point, so that's why they did it. But I don't know. It just felt dumb.
I know exactly why they're doing this, and I hate it. So they don't want to go full Love Islandy, so they can't like do couple. They still need to make it their rose ceremonies, and guys give a rose to the girls, girls give
Mm,
a rose to the guy. And so I think that's why they did it. But it makes absolutely zero sense because they're just saying everything but repeating it to the guys and the girls, even though like there's no new arrivals. There's no odd
mhm.
numbers. It's just the couples. Have the couples make the decision. Obviously we get at the end of the episode saying obviously some people still have wondering eyes for other people and everything like that, but still just make it the couples. I felt like that was the most weird part of the day where I don't know, that just it didn't make any sense to still do the whole rose thing. Like
Yeah,
that was actually so, especially for the safe couples. It was just like
yeah,
I don't know,
yeah.
so
Why
weird.
do they still need rose ceremonies? That's a great point because they're already. If they're safe, they're safe. They just advance the next week. They advance the next day. Like,
Hmm.
what's the alternative? If they break up, they're not going to win the thing, so they would just go home.
Yeah, and it's not like people are gonna recouple up
Yeah,
and
are they
shit.
going to give a
Like,
rose to
I'm
someone
sorry.
else?
Yeah, I'm sorry, but Dale is not going with Alicia.
Yeah,
It's just not. It's not going to happen. And whatever they're trying to tease there, or they're trying to tease like a Brian and Bailey or something, like stop. That's ominously never going to
hmm
happen. Just do. And if you do couple by couple now, that also kind of adds to the whole. We're still love. We're still trying to find love. And we're still getting couples out of this, not just
yeah,
individuals. So yeah, I didn't like the whole scrap the rose ceremony. Give the rose to the couple. Have maybe Jesse
yeah,
actually, or have Hannah Brown give out the roses to the actual couple.
yeah.
Have her
Do you think we're going to see Hannah
own her
Brown
bag.
again the rest of the season at this point?
She was in one of the clips today. It was like very quick. It was very quick, but I was like, "Wait,
It's
Hannah
literally
Brown, I saw
Where's
you."
Waldo of
It's Rose
it's
Waldo.
unbelievable. But yeah, even then, like a recoupling would be a stupid strategic play at this point because then you're never gonna win. No one's gonna like.
Yeah,
But it's very interesting. Lot to kind of figure out here. Kind of behind the scenes.
I have a,
Huh?
I have a question
Yeah.
for you. I have a question for you. So this is a hypothetical I just
Okay.
had, since we're kind of still
Yeah.
comparing this to Love
Yeah.
Island, inevitably. If this were being taped live
hmm
and fan vote was a thing
Ooh.
for this paradise, who do you think would have been in the bottom three of the fan vote of the couples?
Parisa and Brian. Um. Maybe.
Jeremy and Bailey? Maybe Jeremy and Bailey because of people not
Yeah,
liking
Jeremy and
Jeremy?
Bailey would be like a Huda and Jeremiah situation where they'd be like, wait,
So maybe,
people
yeah.
don't like us? Why? And then it would come up. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Then it'd be like,
yeah.
why don't people like us? But there's actually a reason there. Um,
Did you just compare Jeremy to Huda? I'm going to
no,
tell him you said that.
I guess I did.
You did just compare Jeremy to
I don't
Huda.
think he watched Love Island. He was kind of filming a season of Paradise. So
That was
you're right.
before. They got
You're
back
right. They
way
got back
before it
before. You're right.
started.
You're right. You're right. My bad. Um, it would Parisa and Brian, maybe Dale and Kat,
Kat.
just because of the
And
last
then maybe like
episode.
Faith and Kim, just because
I don't think
new.
Goldens would be in the bottom three. People like them too much. They wouldn't put them low. If you did like the tier ranking system, like
Mm-hmm.
rank choice voting, is that what that's called? Whatever.
Whatever.
Anyways,
Yeah, I know what you mean.
yeah, probably those three. Sean Alley show would just be middle of the pack because no one really cares.
Honestly, I feel like people see it
Yeah,
though. They see the couple and they're like, Barbie, Ken, vote him,
yeah. Jonathan, Leia. I think people are starting to turn on
Still,
Jonathan.
but Leia's
But
still
Leia's
Leia.
Leia. So
She's,
yeah, I think it'd probably be those three. That'd be very interesting though. So
yeah, let's talk about
let's talk about
Jonathan
Jonathan and
Leia.
Leia. That's exactly where I wanted to go next. So Jonathan. Like he's
He got too jiggy with it.
he,
He got too
he jiggy
jiggity.
too close to the sun. He did. So here's the thing. Jonathan has now, in essence, been on two different versions of Paradise, right? Because the first couple weeks of Paradise and then this new challenge-based version of Paradise. He sucks at both of them. He's terrible at both of the Paradises he's been on this season. The first one, he couldn't figure it out. He was like playing too cool for school, and then he was friend zoned by everyone. And then now that there's money involved, he's like, "Oh no, I don't care. I don't have romantic feelings for how was he bad at both? Like at least Jeremy was bad at the first one, like because he called Susie and all that. Jeremy's good at the second version of Paradise. At least he figured one of them out. Jonathan's bad at both.
Yeah, it makes no sense to be talking with Kat and one still trying to spit game. I know trying to spit game when I see it. He's still trying to spit game with Kat. That wasn't a friendly talking to, and especially if you're telling Leia's pretty close to them that conversation, and you're like, yeah, we're just friends. Like, still single. Yeah. Like, that's wild. You're gonna say that when you know there's no arrivals still coming in, and this is a couple's version, and there's 500K on the line. Kat's gonna be like, well, obviously you two aren't really a couple. Like, they're gonna be voted out very quick. They might survive a little bit just because I would say they're pretty popular, guy and girl, just in general in the, I don't know, in the community, in the resort. But I don't know. He's gonna find love. I just don't see it with anybody from Bachelor Nation. He needs to not. His Paradise wasn't his year. He wasn't his year. He like regroup, go back, hit the training, hit the gym. Not like the gym, but like the mental gym, the mental Paradise gym, and then either come back to Paradise next year. But hopefully, he already has a shorty.
Yeah. I can't believe it. Like he got a fresh start to be like, you know what, this love thing wasn't for me, but at least I can try to compete for $500,000. And he's like opted out. He's like, nah, I'm good.
He's like, friend zone.
Like, dude, why? Like that makes no sense. Like just think about it, like, hey, I'm not gonna find love here. Okay, this sucks because then if it didn't change, if Paradise didn't change, he would just be sitting there flirting with Kat and nothing's gonna happen. Now he actually has a chance to like have a purpose there, to like try to at least fake it to try to win $500,000, and he couldn't even do that.
Yeah, and him and Leia could probably fake it pretty well.
Yeah,
like they're both funny people. Everybody knows they were friends before. They could easily fake that friends to lovers trope. I think that's like 4 straight episodes.
Yeah,
I've said friends to lovers.
It's gonna happen eventually.
But I do want to shout out Leia in the funniest part of the episode, I would argue, during the rose ceremony, when she doesn't even say, Jonathan, will you accept this rose? She just says, you're welcome. Bang! Mic drop. That was a bar.
So good.
She was standing on business. That's standing on business.
Love that for our Princess Leia. She deserves better. I know we're joking around about Jonathan a little bit, but she deserves better. Leia deserves someone that will actually fake it for $500,000 with her. Because, like, come on. That's kind of insulting to say, like, I don't even like you enough to just, like, pretend to like you.
And she just got here. Yeah. She just got here, too. And she's just like, I just got here, and one of my friends from before just friend zoned me.
Yeah.
After finding out there's no other people coming to this island, to this place.
That's
and that there's money on the line. Like,
absolutely nuts. But then the end of the episode is Bailey making the decision, or Bailey and Jeremy making the decision. Jeremy
didn't make this decision.
I think he made one of the
decisions. If Jeremy was making a decision, Brian would have been gone. He knows that Brian knows some stuff. No, Brian would have been
okay, gone. Let's talk about the decision.
Brian would have been gone.
Let's talk about it. So Bailey gives roses to Faith and Parisa.
Yep.
So they give their roses respectively to Kim and Brian. I think, we're the heavy, like, we're front row on the Leslie train, choo-choo, forever. But from a strictly strategic standpoint, I do think this is the right play if you're trying to eliminate the strongest couples. I think Leslie and Gary are the strongest couple out of those three. or like to have the potential to be the strongest couple out of those three. Parisa and Brian, again, if you take the Jeremy like knowing about or telling him about the Susie stuff out of the equation, they are not a threat. They are not a threat to win this game whatsoever. If I'm them, you keep Parisa and Brian there as long as humanly possible. So like that, 100% give them the rose. And then, like we said at the beginning, Captain Kim, oh Captain, my Captain, you're not winning this thing. And maybe they don't see it that way on the show, and they're like, maybe Kim and Faith are like the most loved couple ever, but I don't know. I think you eliminate the strongest couple at that standpoint, which makes it weird at the rose ceremony where you can't just say that. So they have to pretend they're doing it for the right reasons
Mm-hmm.
and be like, we're trying to find the strongest couple. It's like, no, you're not. You're trying to win this thing, which I understand and we would understand as an audience. So it makes it very interesting.
Yes, but at the same time, like we said at the beginning of the episode, a Golden's not winning this. We know that. We know that we can put our life savings on that right now. Why don't you keep both the Goldens around, because you know that they're probably not going to win it, as you saw with Gary not even knowing really how to bet. Like, that man screwed himself to get in that position, which again, then you could argue, well, if he screwed it that time, he's probably not going to mess up again, and so we might not get another
Yeah.
chance for him to be in the bottom three. That's the spin zone to myself. But I don't know. If it was like Jeremy up there standing next to Jesse, not Bailey, I think he's getting rid of Brian. And it's strictly personal.
Yeah.
It's not a game plan. It's
Yeah.
personal. That whole mafia conversation they had
Yeah.
before the rose ceremony, they had the music playing in the
Yes.
background, like that Italian mafia, and it was like, yeah, you had the Godfather thing.
Yeah.
It was It got to Jeremy's head. It really got to Jeremy's
Oh,
head.
it was
He was like,
incredible.
"Can you get a castle? Can
Yes,
you get a
King of
castle?"
Chaos. I have a chair. Yeah, no, Jeremy was awesome this episode, and again, love him or hate him, great for TV. Like he is
Yeah.
polarizing at this point, which is awesome, and I'm here for it. And an episode like
Mhm.
this or like a change like this creates villains and creates heroes with like I think less like real life consequences. I mean, you ever know with Bachelor Nation because they always take things too far, but screwing someone over to try to win money is very different than screwing someone over with a chance to get engaged and find
True.
endless love. So like the
That's-
stakes are higher, but the consequences or like the outrage towards it should be lesser, if that makes sense.
Mhm. That makes complete sense, because it's not like you're stabbing someone in the back / like cheating on
Mhm.
somebody and absolutely causing chaos in that sense. It's like, oh, it's a game. It's a game. It's not that personal. It might be obviously a little personal. And even when we talk about traders, part of it was maybe a little personal. But at the end of the day, it's like at the reunion, everybody's like, ah, cool. Like, yeah, it's whatever. Nice one. Nice one, man. Like, you got it. You got me.
Having the
So,
crux.
but it does hype up this villain versus villain, like Jeremy Bryan thing that they got going on, and I kind of like that whole mafia scene. And then they play like some clips of Bryan remembering the conversation. I was like,
Mhm.
that's when the production, the more like movie esque feel that this has to it, like the more like produced. That's where it's hidden. That's where it's
Yeah,
hidden.
having the crutch of hey, it's just a game allows people to be a little wilder and a little more riskier and a little more mean to each other because you can just say at
Hmm.
the end of the day like hey, it's a game, I'm trying to win money. So
Yeah,
it adds added it's an added element that I'm really enjoying. So
yeah. Which is gonna be interesting to be like, are we gonna get any successful couples out of this season? And if we don't, is this season a success no matter how well,
yeah.
like I think no matter what of how entertaining the rest of the season is, viewership wise and ratings it gets, I think you need a successful couple,
Hmm.
especially because Grant season, Jen season, we just they're still having to hold on to Joey and Kelsey, and rightfully so, and Charity and Dawden, but like you need some
Yeah.
couples, and so
So I
you got to show and you got to show us the storyline and the story of that couple forming. So if there is a couple that is still together from this Paradise cast, you got to start showing the love
Mhm.
story. It can't be a late thing, especially if it's from people that are here from day
So
one.
here's my final question for you before we wrap up here. Is there a scenario where a couple that isn't Jess and Spencer wins and people consider this season a success? Does that question make sense? Because in my
Yes,
head, the only path for this to be considered widely a success from like both audiences who either love or hate the twist will be okay with the
mhm.
ending is if Jess and Spencer win. I don't know who's that
Yes.
next couple. Like if we're power ranking couples, basically, it's Jess and Spencer and Dale and Kat.
Dare I say Faith and
Like
Kim?
literally, like who's number 2 on that list? I don't know.
I mean,
Oh yeah,
probably
Alex and
Alex and
Andrew. Alex and
Andrew,
Andrew are there. That's definitely 2.
maybe. Yeah,
Definitely 2.
I would.
But that there's a gap
Yeah,
between that for sure.
yeah, for sure. And I think
You're right. Alex and Andrew
you're
have a
right in that
path. They have a
sense.
path to victory for success.
You're right in that sense to where like I think this season would be a success is if the winner of this Traders esque Survivor kind of bachelor pad game, whatever, is also a couple that's a real couple that is
Mhm.
engaged and gonna get married and would actually and hopefully live a very happy life together. Like a Hannah G and
Yeah.
Dylan B. Like something like that. They win and get engaged, get married, everything like that, or Joe and Serena, something like that. They need
So
that would be ideal,
what
but you
happens?
can't force that.
I would love a twist at the end, which I'm sure they'll do some variety of it, where you have a winning couple. Here's $500,000. You each get the choice to similar Love Island, like
Split.
split it or
Prisoner's
keep
dilemma.
all the money. And like that again, it's not going to happen, but I'm thinking of a situation where if let's say it was Jeremy and Bailey at the end and Jeremy's like give me $500,000. I almost like yeah, people would hate the move, but I think they would it would almost validate everything beforehand where he was like I was always in this for the money after the fact that money
Dude,
was introduced and like hey, I was in
but
it.
I also think Bailey, low key, would also choose the
Eh,
500K, and then nobody gets it. It's the prisoner's dilemma, where if you
yeah.
both try to steal, nobody gets it, which would be
Oh,
so
that's
funny.
awesome. Like that is incredible television, folks. This is television. It's supposed to be
Yes.
electric and this is adding a little spark to get that electricity flowing. I love it. I'm excited.
Mm.
And if you don't love it, I understand where you're coming from. I would love to hear your opinion on it. So please leave a comment. We can kind of wrap up there unless you have any other final thoughts.
Not really. I guess I had one like commentary thing. You know how like they've been still doing the little funny things under
Names.
the
Yeah.
names. They had one today after Kim was talking about his little makeout session
Yep.
um,
Full mask.
with Faith, and it said at full mast. Wild, like they're getting
They're getting
wild
close.
with
Yeah,
that.
they're getting
They
close to that
they
line.
don't care.
Very.
But it's good. It's
Yeah.
good, and they're not being conservative with them. But they're every single time a name gets popped up, they're doing something underneath. Which sometimes I'm like, you're trying too hard,
No, I
but
love it.
for the most part, I'm like, they're
Yeah.
doing well.
No, I love it. All right, that concludes our recap for week 5 of Bachelor in Paradise. Let us know your thoughts. I think everyone's going to have an opinion on this episode. So please let us know what you think in the comments. Like the video if you like this and subscribe and we'll see you next week. Peace. Thanks for watching this episode of BachMakers. If you enjoyed today's episode, please consider joining our Patreon page linked in the description below. It's $5, cup of coffee, and it helps support us a ton. Thank you, and maybe we'll see you next week.
Yeah, and from next week on the BachMakers, we shave Wyatt's head off
Maybe. Only one way to find out.
by tuning in.
That was implied.
Back to you in the studio.
And cut.
Thanks, Julianne.